in 2026, I'm gonna be a certified hater still. Hey, what's good? It's been a long time since I've been on camera, but we're back. Today we're gonna do something fun. We're gonna do 12 Days of Christmas, Spread Hate Edition. No joy here. I've been reflecting in my room of the events that happened in 2025, and it's time to become a certified hater again. I think this year I was too soft on some people in my life, and as a result, I wasted a lot of time. Let's just say that. To start off, this video is sponsored by Peer Diffusers. This is what they look like. This one is the peach calming one. I'll give a full review next week, but if you see me puffing away, that's what it is. This is not a vape. Although it behaves eerily similar to one, this doesn't have nicotine. But yeah, I received this yesterday, and I might need this to stay calm, just because of the amount of hate that's about to spew out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it one for each month. Some of them don't align perfectly, but roughly they are. So for January, I met someone in a group bubble tea setting, met his girlfriend, and he offered to give me a ride home because it was late at night and it was on the way to his apartment. And there he disclosed something that really made me ponder about things. And looking back, I really question why I accepted this person. And you'll see a theme of this as I go on throughout my list. But basically, this person told me that they go to the nightclub scene a lot together as a couple. And he disclosed to me that if not for Molly and perks, him and his girlfriend would not be able to have a romantic connection. And that's just something that, looking back, I was really astonished by. And I just let it be because since last year, I've been unemployed. So I had a lot of free time on my hands and I met a lot of cool people. Unfortunately, a lot of those people are out of my life. And upon reflection, I kind of gathered some reasons why. February, I met this girl. She used to be my gym partner. And um, the thing I really hated about her was she was single, so she was dating a lot of men. And she told me that she has to entertain multiple men at once, or else she'll get obsessive and as a result go crazy. In theory, it makes sense, but to me, I'm just like, if you really like someone, just focus all your attention on that one person. Like, why are you trying to justify just being that type of person? You know, I'm not gonna be derogatory. March, March and April are gonna be a two for one package. The person that irritated me first was someone who brought a gigantic suitcase. I went to a trip in LA with them, and the person brought a suitcase that was at least 1.25 meters tall and weighed like 60, 80 pounds. And she got mad at me for not being able to help her. And in my opinion, in my defense, I suppose, if you're gonna bring that kind of thing for like I think it was like a 5 day trip, you kind of are responsible for it yourself instead of just looking at me just because I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? But I digress. I personally always travel light. I don't know why people bring a gigantic suitcase. Like, if worst comes to worst, you just buy like half of the things in your suitcase. Just bring your bare essentials. Like, my bag most of the time is for business related, so very seldom bring a lot of personal stuff, especially for anything shorter than like 5 day work week kind of deal. Next person, we're just friends. We're sharing a hotel room, separate beds, of course. And in the downtime, she turned on sports and she just started watching, and we started talking about sports. She asked me what my favorite sports are, and I personally don't watch sports like that, so I obviously answered not really watch. And then I asked her what hers is, and she told me she has no preference. This blew my mind. So I began asking follow-up questions, right? And the basic consensus of this person is she doesn't care who's playing, she just want to watch it. And I'm not talking just like passively in the background. She like buys tickets to go watch. And keep in mind she's well off, so she goes a lot, and she does not have a favorite. She just cheers for whoever whoever is playing that day. And I was like, where's the loyalty? Like, and it's like it just boggles my mind how someone can live that way, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have to be obsessed with the team, but if you're gonna choose something like that and spend a lot of your time at it, at least have a backbone and pick something that you somewhat care about instead of just bandwagoning onto whatever. Anyways, I digress. May, I went to Washington, and this was peak when tariffs were starting to ramp up, and I was genuinely worried about my business and how we're going to get through it. Because taking a 30% margin hit is not great for any business with 90% of my customers being US customers. So I was genuinely looking into potentially getting a green card to live in the US to operate my business, right? This person, she really liked me, so she offered to marry me to give me my green card, and she was too broke to sponsor me. She was pretty young, to be fair, but the minimum to sponsor someone is like $25,000. It's like you barely work full time and you can make that at minimum wage jobs. And she lived in like a rinky dinky little farm town, not that different from Canada small towns, to be honest. And she just expected me to do business while she stays at home all day. And that was just something that I couldn't entertain. She just like getting high and playing YouTube videos in the background. And yeah, let's say that didn't work out. June, one of my, I won't disclose any more details, but someone just broke up with their long-term partner, and she we did some stuff, right? And once it got serious, she went back to him, and it just like our connection didn't mean anything to her, and that completely blew my mind. And I think my ego was a little bit hurt from that. But it's crazy how whatever we did happened like 3 days after she broke up with her fiance. And yeah, looking back, I don't know why I went for the half course shot, you know what I'm saying? In August, I was talking to a girl who had multiple personalities. And you guys know how doom scrolling is, right? It was like I was doom scrolling in real life, and there'd be a couple good ones where she's like neutral or lovey dovey, or like she's flexing her muscles, she's complimenting me. And then there's some bad ones where she's just avoidant, where she becomes really anxious, where she just goes silent, where she starts talking about random things unrelated to the conversation. And there'd be the worst one, which is like it just turns into a complete stranger and it's like, don't touch me. I swear I was gambling in the span of like 2 hours of hanging out with her. And we hung out a lot. But at some point I couldn't handle it. So I was just like, do you want to be my girlfriend? And that way, maybe I could justify spending more time with her and accepting her, because at least we would have that relationship connection, right? But no, she was avoidant. So she basically said if I kept asking her to be my girlfriend, we're done. And that's how it ended. And yeah, that was definitely an eye-opening experience for me. In September, I reconnected with one of my old university mates, and I never liked Calgary like that. And connecting with someone from my past, I really wanted to see their growth, like how much they changed potentially, what I could be inspired by, because I'm unemployed, right? I'm fortunate to say she was the exact same as when we were in university, and didn't look like it was going to change anytime soon. And that really breaks my heart because I truly despise Calgary for the lack of things that you're able to do here. And just meeting with her and chatting over pho just reaffirmed all of that. And like she's normal, but still lives at home, doesn't have any relationships going on, is still working the same job she was working in university. She's saving up, but it's been like 5 years since university. Doesn't have a job related to her career. We were in the same degree, by the way. And yeah, I was just taken back, let's just say that. October. Um, the best way to describe October was, I think it was my first toxic friendship relationship with someone, where every couple of days she would find something wrong with me and break up with me. It'd be super small things that normal couples, they could have a fight about, but ultimately they would get over, right? And the last thing that ended it all was, in my opinion, when we were at the gym working out together, and I complimented to her, to her face, how much weight some girl was doing on leg press. Like, I was genuinely impressed by it. And she became jealous of that, and like the next day broke up with me. And just a lot of toxic tendencies. Like, her and one of my exes were talking trash about me. And then at like 12 a.m. one day, I think this is where I led to my bad sleep habits, honestly. They they both sent me screenshots of them talking trash about me and just completely ruined my day. And then that's when I finally realized why people block their exes. It's just like, can we just be normal, decent human beings, please? Anyways, November, I met someone who started off with just wanting to be friends with me. And the way she talks was very crass. Like, imagine 12-year-old boys type of humor. And I told her I wasn't into it like that. And that weekend we were gonna like hang out. And then she began like making moves on me. Now, for me, I think it is important to be friends with someone you might be romantically involved with, just because, if you go down that route, you're gonna spend a lot of time with them. So if their personality really rubs you the wrong way, like, don't even entertain it. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to change them so much just so you are comfortable. Anyways, one time I was just like, "Can you stop talking like this? I don't, I don't really like it." And then she started spazzing out. She's like, "This is who I am. I'm tired of being someone that accommodates everyone else." And keep in mind, this is like the first 1 or 2 weeks of me chatting with this person. And I was like, you don't have the basic decency to be like normal for the first like 1 or 2 weeks. Like, if we're comfortable and you let your weirdness slide out over time, maybe I can acclimate to it. But if you're gonna be this gung ho about this is your true self, it's like, even if we're just friends, like, I don't think I want to be associated with you. You know what I mean? Anyways, the premise of all this is to say that in 2025, I was too soft. I was too damn soft on these people. I wanted that connection so bad. One way or another, I kind of just caved and betrayed myself in what I look for in people typically. Like my core friends did not change for 2025 with the addition of Caris, which I'm really truly thankful for. But like my core friends are just people I'm comfortable with that share relatively the same worldview and morals, you know. But throughout meeting all these people, in attempt to feel more connection in my life, I actually felt more isolated because I just accepted people that the past me would just not tolerate. And that's the best way I can put it. But you might ask, that's only 11 months. What about December? Unfortunately, for December, the person I truly hate is myself. There's a couple reasons. I just feel like in my time of reflection, I let myself go. Maybe it's because it's end of the year thing. Maybe because I was depressed because what feels like all my connections amounted to nothing over 2025. But my sleep schedule was whack. Sometimes I'd be skipping the gym. Like I still make it up in the end, but it's not consistent anymore. All my disciplines out of the window. I don't I wake up feeling like garbage. I have to drink caffeine just to function. I barely did anything for my businesses. I just sat home and moped all day. Like, yeah, I talked to people. I didn't completely isolate myself, but this is not who I want to be. And an important lesson I learned in 2025 is to reject the things that just don't feel right to you. And it's important that you do not give up yourself in order to pursue other people. I think that's an important lesson I learned. And yeah, you can make the argument that until I experience all of these things that I really hated, it's not fair to say that I could have come to this conclusion entering into 2025. But my point still stands is, as we grow up and become more mature, you get to dictate the direction your life heads. And because you only have one life, I don't think you should compromise to the point where, you become me and you have to make a hate-filled video to end 2025. But that's to say, sometimes you just need a rant session, and this serves as the rant session for me, at least. Don't get me wrong, though. I got all of this out of my system. However, in 2026, I'm going to be a certified hater still. It's just who I am. I have to be honest. Like, there's no other way to explain it. Like, there's a lot of things wrong with the world, and if every person caves to compromise with the outside world, you're going to live in a way that doesn't feel true to you, and you're going to look back with regret. And for 2026, I hope I can keep myself accountable and not feel that type of regret. But yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and happy holidays. All right, bye bye.